back to the channel, and today we're going to be making the famous French macaron. It can be really hard whenever you're first starting, but if you just keep practicing, it gets really easy and can look amazing. So to start off, our ingredients are 1.5 cups of fine granulated sugar, a food coloring, which is optional. It just looks really good if it's a nice bright color, but tip, don't use liquid food colorings. They will like kind of make your batter a little bit more liquidy, and they also, like, if you're using pink, for instance, if you're using gel food coloring, it's going to look a really bright, pretty pink. But if you're using a liquid food coloring, they will just be more like of a peachy instead of a pink. So we have our violet colored food coloring. We have cream of tartar, vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of super fine almond flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 3 eggs, and a little splash of vinegar to wipe down our bowl. So to make sure it's nice and clean, because if you have any fat in your mixer, it is just going to deflate the egg whites, and they're not going to get nice and glossy and shiny and beautiful. So the reason I have 2 bowls here is because you are going to need to sift this, the almond flour and the powdered sugar 3-5 times. You can use a food processor, but I feel like it doesn't really make a difference. If you use a food processor and then sift it, it doesn't really make a big difference besides just sifting it. If you just sift it, it will be fine. Okay, so now we're just going to start on the egg white mixture, the meringue. So to start off, you're just going to have like a little tiny bit of vinegar. You can also use lemon juice, just an acid, and pour it into your bowl. And then you're going to want to spread it all around so it gets every single bit. And some people might think that you're going to want to wash this after you finish wiping it, but you will not. You will get other fat in there, and you're not going to get a nice glossy whipped meringue. So you want to get it all around the bowl, everywhere. And that's perfect. I'm just going to set that off to the side. And put it back on here. I have 3 large eggs here. So you want to have room temp eggs, because they're just going to whip better, and they will also separate better. It'll make it a lot easier to separate. So, and you're also going to want to do these one at a time, because you could get like a little bit of eggshell in there, or you could also get some yolk in there. If you get yolk, you're not going to want to get the yolk in your whole entire eggs that you've just cracked. So you want to crack an egg and then pour it in, because if you get a yolk in there, it's not going to whip. It's probably just going to deflate, and it's not going to be whipped and glossy and creamy. So I'm just going to crack these into the bowl, and then we're going to whip them until it gets a little bit like bubbly. going to whip our meringue. You want to do it on the highest speed your hand mixer or electric stand mixer will go to really get some air into your mix. And you want it to be like the softest soft cake that you can get. So just let it beat for a few seconds. And now I'm just going to add in a fourth a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Slowly just add that in. And that's going to just stiffen up your meringue a bit and make it a little bit more glossy. Put that over there. Now we have a teensy bit under 1/2 of a cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to just like drizzle that in as slow as possible. So we don't like lose all those wonderful air bubbles that we just whipped into our mix. Now this is the thing that's going to make it really nice and glossy and smooth. You're just going to add this in very, very slowly. Add some in and then just give it a second to just whip out. After you add the sugar in, you want it to be all incorporated before you add the next little part. This process can take a few minutes, but trust me, if you just dump it all in, it's going to like mess up your meringue very, very badly. We're almost done. Probably a little bit more left. And that's the last bit. Now we're just going to let this whip till it gets nice and stiff peaks. A stiff peak is where you can pull it up and it holds its shape. This meringue isn't done yet, but I'm just going to show you what a soft peak is. It's where you take it and it'll stay up, but it's not going to it'll wiggle around a little bit and it's not going to hold its shape really well. So you just want to let that beat just a little bit more until it gets nice and stiff and really, really glossy. It's going to get really, really glossy and beautiful. So now we're just going to add in the vanilla. Here I have clear Mexican vanilla. It is so good. It smells absolutely divine. So you're going to want to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then let that get all incorporated, and then you can add your food colorings. The food coloring that you choose, dark food colorings like purple, blue, green, things like that work the best. In the oven, pink and stuff like that like pink and yellow, can get a little bit dark in the oven. And so dark colors work really, really well for this. I'm just going to let this whip for a few more minutes until it's nice. And so now I just let this whip for a few minutes and it is nice and glossy and beautiful. Like, look, it's so beautiful and it's nice. It's a really nice, thick consistency and it has nice stiff peaks. See, when you hold it up, it's not going to fall down. And another test you can do is you can take the bowl off and put it on top of your head and the egg whites will not fall down, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not brave enough to do that, you guys. I'm just going to this and just put a little bit on each side. So if you put some on each side, it can incorporate better. If you just pop some on, it's not really even going to incorporate really good. So I'm going to get that all over there. And you want to add your food coloring in now, because if you add it in whenever you're going to macaronage, it is not going to really well, like, it's just going to be really, really hard to mix in. And it's not going to be the nice bright color that you're looking for. I think I'm going to add in just a teensy bit more. This is a beautiful color, but I kind of want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to get a little bit more and add it in just around these spots. I'm going to just let that mix. You don't want to overlook your meringue. So that's why I'm doing it just after all the meringue gets incorporated. So this is just the color I was going for. It looks perfect. So now I'm just going to, well, actually I think this is perfect. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl and then we can start to macaronage. So now it's time to macaronage. Macaronaging is the process of folding the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. So you're gonna want to add in about maybe like 1/3 of the dry mixture. And most recipes say for you to fold it gently. But at the end of the day, you're going to want there to be no air bubbles. So you actually want to be pretty aggressive. And the reason we want super fine flour and we want to sift it is because we don't want any lumps on the top of our macarons. If it isn't sifted or anything like that, it's just gonna be really lumpy on the top. They'll still taste delicious, but they're not gonna look really good. You're gonna wanna beat all those air bubbles out. Get it all incorporated. You want to get it all incorporated before you add in the next part. Now you're going to want to add just a little bit more in. This process can be a little bit tiring, but trust me, it will make your macarons picture perfect. Gonna add in the last bit. Get it all in there. Now we're just gonna mix until it looks like lava. But how many of us have really seen lava? So you're going to want it to look like wet sand. And a good way for you to know when to stop is to do the figure 8 method. It is when you mix and then you try to continuously make a figure 8. And whenever you get it perfect, that is when you stop mixing. You don't want to overmix your batter, but you want it to be as finely mixed, like not really finely, but as thoroughly mixed as possible. And you want to get all of those remaining air bubbles out. I've almost mastered the figure 8. Just a little bit more mixing. Another good way for you to get a really fine batter and really smooth tops on your macarons is to actually sift the batter. Well, if you do this, it can be like really hard and the batter won't be as easy to pipe. It might be a little bit thinner. Almost done. Just a little bit more mixing. I have mastered figure 8. So you're going to want to stop mixing. Do not mix anymore. It will just deflate your batter, and it's not going to be that picture perfect macaron. So I'm just going to go wash up, and then we'll start piping. So now it's just time to pipe out our macarons. So some people, like me, like to have a really quick and easy cleanup. So to do that, you have parchment paper. Well, most recipes and videos that you will watch tell you to take some of your macaron batter and stick it on each side. Well, that just makes for a hard cleanup. So to do that and have an easy cleanup, I just take some vegetable shortening and dab it on each side. And it worked exactly the same. And whenever you're done, you can just easily wipe it off. So I'm just going to lay this back down and press down where I put the shortening. And if you feel like you don't have enough on the side, you can just take a little bit more and just dab it. I feel like I don't have enough here, there. Now that is perfect. You're just gonna want to press that down as much as you can to get it as even as you can with the parchment paper. Just gonna set this to the side. And piping the macarons. You can use like a template, like a silicone mat, but I found if you use a silicone mat, it can really dry out your macarons, and you don't want that. You're going to want to pipe them as neatly as you possibly can, but there's always going to be a match for someone. You can see these little dollops right here. We're going to fix that in just a minute. Right now it's looking really, really grainy and stuff, you know. It looks like it's going to have a lot of bumps. But trust me, it won't. Once you drop the tray and then let them sit, they're going to be beautiful. And for your piping bag, you're going to want to pipe about maybe a half an inch tip. You can also use a piping tip, but I feel like it doesn't really make a difference. I'm just going to pipe all those out. Now I'm going to refill my piping bag and then pipe the second tray. So I told you guys we're going to fix these little nubs on top, and I'm not going to forget it. So you're going to want to have just a little bit of water in a bowl. Warm water works best because it'll kind of, like, not really melt down, but it'll just kind of be warm and just help it smooth out a little bit better. So you're just going to want to dip your finger in there, get your finger nice and wet. Shake it off, and then just tap down. And about every two you do, you are going to want to dip your finger into the water. And you don't want to get too much water on there. You're just going to get it on there till there's no more little nub thing. Press. So now we're just going to finish doing the other tray, then we're going to drop the tray. So now it's time to make our lemon American buttercream frosting. So to start off, we have our ingredients. 8 tablespoon stick of butter, 1 cup of confectioner's sugar, 1 lemon. You can do more or less, just whatever you like. So to start off, we're just going to be creaming up the butter until it's nice and pale and fluffy. And while that's going, I'm just going to just let that whip up, and then we'll start zesting our lemon. Okay, so our butter is nice, pale, and fluffy. I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Get all of the butter in there. Now, we're going to add in, get that one there. We're going to add in well, you can do all of it if you want. I'm just going to do like half of it probably. Just whatever I feel like is enough. That's enough. And now, we're going to start off slowly, very, very slowly, because it will go everywhere. So you're just going to turn that up to medium high speed. It's going to look really, really clumsy at first, but then the powdered sugar is going to get all nice and incorporated. That's that. Now I'm going to add in the last bit. All of it in there. And now we're just going to stir this up on low speed. And while that's going, I have 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of that in there. And then turn it up some. Turn back down. Drizzle in the rest of the heavy whipping cream. Now we're just going to turn that up and let that whip. The reason I'm only doing 1 stick of butter and 1 cup of confectioner's sugar is because we're not going to need much to just do a little salt in between just a few macarons. So let's have this up. Okay, that's perfect. So now, this is going to be a lemon buttercream. And so we're going to be using the zest and the juice. So to start off, you're just going to want to roll it before you go to zest it. And you are going to want to zest it before you cut it in half, because that makes it a lot easier. And we're doing this so all the juices can be released, and it will be really, really easy to get a bunch of juice. The reason I'm using a lemon is because lemon extract is good, but it just doesn't bring out the full flavor of the lemon. So while you're zesting, you don't want to get any of the actual lemon part in there, because it will make it really, really, really bitter. So you're just going to want to, and also I'm using a little bit of a bigger shredder, because I want it to be a little bit bigger pieces, so you'll really be able to see that lemon in there. slowly add in our lemon zest. I didn't do too much because I don't want too much of the lemon zest in there. Put that all in there. Lemon zest, like any zest, lime zest, orange zest, lemon zest, just really brings out the flavor of the citrus that you're going to be using. So now I'm going to get some of the juice out of the lemon. All of that is mixed in. Now I'm just going to, it's easiest if you just take your hand, hold it under, and then squeeze to catch any of the seeds that will go down. And get as much in there as you possibly can. Just tap it. Little seed got in there. That's okay. I don't think we're going to be using the other half. I'm just going to mix it up and see how that does. Now I'm just going to take a break and wash my hands out. So now it's just time. Well, I was just thinking, I tasted a little bit of it and I think it needs a little bit more lemon. So I'm just going to add in, well, first I'm going to squeeze out all I can of this other lemon. Just get it all in there. Squeeze it as hard as you can. Get all that lemon juice in there. Now just tap the seeds off your hand. I'm going to go in and do the other half. I just want it to be nice and lemony so you can really get that lemon flavor. If you're using a lemon extract, you can just do like a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of it because it's really, really strong. So now I'm just going to mix this up until it's nice and incorporated. So now it's time to ice the macarons. I'm only going to do a few because there are tons of them, you guys. So to ice the macaron, you just take your icing and then you're just going to want to do a little dollop in the middle. And don't go all the way out to the edge because whenever you put the other macaron on top, it'll kind of spread it out. So you're just going to do that. All of your macarons. And that is how you can get the perfect macaron, you guys. It looks pretty amazing. And you can you can decorate them by taking them and rolling them in sprinkles, chocolate shavings, anything. You can plate them really nicely. Like that if you'd like, or just like that, or just like simply just like that. And this is how you make a macaron. I hope you guys like this video. If so, make sure to go like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications for any of my new videos. Also, don't forget to comment